So, it's been a hell of a ride, hasn't it? You guys worked really hard for this. The ones that have been actively doing things, some for decades. Man, I felt a collective wave of peace throughout this planet when things were announced. It was just like the world had exhaled. The ones throwing tantrums and the ones that don't get it, they just don't understand what we and what God first and foremost just did for them. They have no idea the timeline that we were on. They will be given that information. It will come like a download with these waves of light. We've been having like mini flashes since like 2019. Just a ton of light. But there are bigger ones coming where they will all of a sudden have a download of this information, where all of a sudden they know things. And there's going to be, I tried to make a lot of videos before we even found out, you know, which way this is going to go, definitely, because there were so many with free will, so many pushing against us, so much fuckery, really, and watching all this fuckery. But I had this feeling that so many are going to have voter regret because, and it's not about, you know, politics. Has zero to do with it. It's a spiritual war that God just pushed us forward into winning onto the sacred timeline. We're on it, and there's so many players, so many people that did so many things to push us over that finish line. But there was a timeline jump on the 4th. I felt it when I went to leave the house. It was the evening of the 4th here in the States. I'm Eastern time, so maybe, I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock maybe, where I went to make a supply run. I left the house and there was nobody out, and I live in a place that is busy. It's, you know, always booming, you know, music and bass and noise and fireworks for no reason at all, which is fine until they set off the M80s. You know, that's not fun for animals or veterans that, you know, they don't care about, but it didn't. So anyway, I went to leave, and nobody. Every time we have a timeline jump, there's nobody out. That's one of the first indications I have. One of them. Things look different. There's different employees, and you can do things at the same time. There's just, you know, a lot of things look really different, and things are easier. They kind of fall into place. It feels like there's a lot of tension that cracks off. You feel like you can breathe because you elevated, right? So we had a huge one the night of the 4th, so that would have been the night before, you know, the election. And then on the 5th, that night, I went to make another supply run for the babies, and I said to God, you know, in between, I was just about at one of the stores, and I just kind of stopped and went, God, you know, we're tired. We can't do this anymore. The teams are tired. The people are tired. We have to, it has to be good now. And I said, you gotta, you know, I need to know which way this thing's gonna go, because there's so many timelines, free will, choices, people are, you know. And all of a sudden, from the time I said it to the time I parked the car, a song came on, which I'm gonna try to remember to put at the end. But funny enough, it was on Channel 7, and it was, so it looks like there's sevens all over the, you know, the video. Which 7 is the number of God, 777 is you're going to be fine where you're going, I've got you, right? And it felt like it was a message for all of us. But I think there's like 9 sevens on it, you know, it's interesting. Anyway, so that to me, when the song came on, and then there were a few other mini confirmations how it was going to go, where I went, okay, okay. And in the morning it was announced. But at the point I asked, there was just all kinds of fuckery that was happening that like, we just can't. The ones that are throwing the tantrums, they have no idea the absolute decimation and destruction that God just saved them from. They don't know, but they will. They'll be shown. They're gonna suddenly know things and feel a little guilty about the shit they've done to us, said to us, called us, treated us, backed us into corners, limited us. You're gonna feel a little bad about that, and regret, you know, the side they were on, and the shallow shit they cared about, when we just won a spiritual war to save this planet, because God did it. God pushed us on the 4th, that timeline jump. There's been a few since. Just today's the 7th, oddly enough, right? Speaking of all the 7s. But God pushed us on the 4th and then secured us through, there's at least 3 huge timeline jumps with several in between just in the past few days to make sure we got on this timeline. That is an absolute miracle, because at this point you can dream now and dream big. Now you will have access to things that you want. You'll actually be able to afford things like food, housing, you know. But it's not just that. God was brought to this realm in a way that people brought him here, which was, I've always heard for like the last 30 years, the real test is people will be born here, the collective will be born here, and will they use their free will to choose divine will? Will they choose God? Looking at everything, seeing everything, going through everything, are they going to choose God? And they did. So God said, let's go. Sacred timeline. So we're on it. So the next couple of months, I also kept hearing the date 1/21, January 20th. And interesting, I didn't know when the inauguration was, but I just found out, I guess it's the 20th. So January 21st is a like wave of relief. Very, very super important day. Now, the next couple of months, shields up, follow your intuition. You know, not everything is thrilled that we won, obviously. But it's interesting too, because as soon as it was announced, I saw darkness disperse, not just from around myself, but it was all this dark energy, and I did see beings like, you know, but a lot of dark energy, tons of it just dispersed. It left. But around the world, a lot of it left, because it knew, it's known right along it was going to lose. But at that point it was like, you know, I also saw much of it go into what looked like an abyss. Went right into it. Some went willingly, some were pulled into it. Some went because nothing else we can do here. That is majorly significant too. So there's been a lot going on. I tried to make several videos, but have gone through lots of distractions where it's like pushing for 2 hours here, two hours there. I've been pushing now for another 2 hours, trying to make, you know, get this out. Some of the energy might feel sticky at times, like you're trying to, you know, I call that shoving shit into alignment. This is how this is going to go, and that's how that will be. That's it. So you may have to kind of shove through some of the, you know, resistant energy, we'll say, but focus on the good. There's so much that went on during that period of time. I know you guys, you know, saw a lot of things and went through a lot of things too, confirmations, things like that. I gotta leave time to kind of, it's just a 2-second clip of the song, but that was when I knew. And then thereafter, just things that, you know, God is good. Every time, all the time, God is good. Your job is just stay linked into that. Stay linked into source energy, into God. Stay out of fear. No fear. Come from a place of we won. It's done. Because it is. Now you can dream. Now you can breathe. Now you can breathe. Love you so much.